The Vienna Symphonic Library bought this building 2 years ago. Then we built it back to the original acoustics, mainly stage A, and built in control A. The Vienna Symphonic Library is best known for its sample library, which is now on the market for around 16 years. We will bring the whole company into this building so that we can combine all the sampling stuff and the real recordings together. The heart of the studio is stage A. It's a 540 square meter scoring stage where you can bring in around 120 musicians and really can score film scores. Rebuilding stage A was quite interesting because all we have to do was to rebuild the acoustic to the original acoustics. The stage A was treated during the 60s not very well, so to speak. So we measured everything, and the conclusion of the measuring was to bring it back to the original acoustic. We took out the old floor and brought in a wooden floor, and so stage A was done mainly. The acoustics are now, I have to say, I think it's one of the best rooms in the world. So the reverb time of stage A is around 2 seconds, but the main thing about the reverb time is that bass frequencies have a shorter reverb time than mid frequency or high frequency. So we do not have any masking effects from the bass frequencies to the mid frequencies. So it sounds really open, and let's say the bass drum is not masking the woodwinds anytime. It's built room in room, and around that room in room construction we have the whole house. So it's room in room construction. So we have around 3 meters between the walls of the room in room construction. So you can really go all around stage A in the room in room construction. I think stage A is one of the best isolated scoring rooms in the world. They used demolition explosives outside during we recorded inside, and we couldn't hear anything of it. We connected that lovely stage to control A, which is the main control room of the stage. There's also a control B, which is a little bit smaller, and we have stage B, which is a 80 square meter drum room. We have 2 ISO booths, and we have a composer's lounge, a pre-production, and we have a producer's lounge. So all the rooms are connected to each other. So you also can record in control A, you can record stage B. You also can record stage A to control B, and everything is connected analog and via Dante. It was important for me to have Dante involved in this building because it's easily to just switch around signals to each room we want to, even to offices or whatever. So if anybody in an office wants to hear, let's say, the stereo mix or the 5.1 mix in his office, we can easily just throw the signals to that room. Also, if you have a person who wants to, let's say, record in an office, you can also connect that office to control A via the Dante network. Or if anybody wants to use the SSL sound compressor just on his mix from his store, he just can bring the signals to control A, control B. It's brought through the SSL sound compression, and it's just routed back to his office where he can record it again. So in control A, we have a duality Pro Station Delta, which is connected to the AlphaLink MX to convert the signal into digital. And these AlphaLink MXs are connected to the Dante NetIO bridge. So on this side, we bring the analog signal into the Dante network. with the delta links, which are also connected to the Dante network, we can bring 96 channels in up to 192 kilohertz. We can bring it into Pro Tools. Quite a cool thing, because there we can also do the sample rate conversion. So we can have different sample rates on the Pro Tools rigs. So if you have a prelay which is in 48, you can record in 192. On stage A, we are using an SSL L500, the live console, which is also connected to the Dante network. As the L500 is working in 96 kilohertz, it was also important that we can bring the prelay, which can be in 48, and the recordings, which can be in 192, we can bring to the 96 digital SSL L500. So there are also 3 net IOs, which are sample rate converting the signal for the SSL L500. So it doesn't depend on which sample rate the whole project is running. We always can use the SSL L500 for monitoring for the musicians. And because of the Dante network, the monitor engineer can choose from the Dante circle which signals he wants to bring back to the musicians. So he just grabs the signals he wants to have and gives it back to the musicians or the conductor. The whole facility is clocked over one master clock. It's an Antelope 10M, which brings the clock to the Antelope Trinities, where you can have 3 different clocks on one system. We always clock the Dante network to the clock we want to record. So if the client wants to record in 192, the whole Dante network is clocked in 192. And then we can bring the prelay with word clock. The prelay is clocked to, let's say, 48 kilohertz. And with the MADI NetIO bridge, we can bring the 48 kilohertz prelay, we can bring it up to the 192 kilohertz Dante network. That's done with the sample rate conversion, which is implemented in the NetIO bridge. A big point of choosing the NetIO bridge is also latency. Because if you're recording people in stage A, latency is a big thing. So to bring the signal from the microphone back to the headphone where the player can hear himself, it's very important that that is on time. And with the NetIO bridge, I think it's one of the fastest network devices I know. So we have in 192 kilohertz from microphone back to the headphone of the musicians, we have a latency of 0.7 milliseconds. So you have to imagine that's the latency from microphone to the AD converter, brought from MADI to Dante, back from Dante to MADI, converted from digital to analog, and back into the headphone. So that's quite a way. The nice thing with the SSL duality is that the signal path is that clean. I think it's more easily to get color into a signal than to get color out of the signal. So if you want to color the signal, you can use different products and put it into the channel path. For me, it was important to have the same mixing desk in both rooms, so you can easily go ahead and took a project from Control A, where you can record it, to Control B, where you can mix it. So you can easily take just a project from Control A and Control B. And because of the Dante network, we can also build a 144 SSL Duality Pro Delta, if you want to have one. For me, it was very important to have the control rooms as modular as possible. So if a traditional American engineer comes in here and wants to have his American way of scoring, let's so to speak, we can provide that. So that's why we have the 500 modules where you can choose from different preamps and you can bring it into the duality. So it was quite important to provide the old way or the older way of recording an orchestra, but also have the future in mind where the scoring of an orchestra can go to. It was, I think, a really new concept of doing a scoring stage. The first thing we did to test the whole facility is we brought in a 100-piece orchestra. We brought in Danny Sand from LA, a famous sound engineer from LA, and the conductor Conrad Pope. We tried to record famous cues just to see the reaction of the people who already know a lot of the scoring stages. It was really fantastic to see the reactions of that famous and really knowing technicians. For me, it was quite amazing to hear the complete studio for the first time with a whole orchestra, because you can measure everything. You can have a look to all the lines you have measured, but to really listen to the whole thing the first time, it's a complete different thing. So I really was nervous. I knew that it could sound really, really good, but when I heard the orchestra playing through the speakers and to the whole signal path the first time, it was simply amazing. Because we hoped that we can do it that way, but it was much better than we hoped it could be.